Hello and welcome once again to Urban X Files. My name is Keith, and today is some codes hidden in objects, and these codes are related to God and the Bible and prophecies. Now, the idea that codes began in the 12th century when Jewish students discovered that interesting and relevant hidden words in the Hebrew version of the Bible, the Torah. The first 5 books of the Bible, devout Jews believed that details of everything that will ever happen on earth are recorded in this book. Now, the the great rabbis have always stressed that these writings were dictated by Moses, direct from God, so no alterations should be made to these sacred texts. Now, the modern era Bible codes was begun by Michael Bear Wesi Mandy or something like that, I forget what it's called, but he was a Slovakian rabbi, and he narrowly escaped the Nazi death chambers, and his interest in these ancient books about Bible codes led him to develop his own theories. Now, although the Second World War had helped to destroy this guy's old life and everything he was used to, it did give him something to promote the ideas of code breakers, with famous stories of the German Enigma program. It also marked the beginning of microcomputers, and many Torah scholars were fascinated by his ideas. They were able to harness complex technology to further research into these Bible codes, which is amazing. Now, in the early 90s, there was a group of clever little fellas who published a study, excuse me, in the Statistical Science Journal of an experiment that they conducted. Now, they used these methods that were developed by Wisi Mandel, or I can't pronounce his name, it's a funny name to pronounce, and they found that references to 34 great rabbi sages, together with their respective birth and death dates, were hidden somewhere in the book of Genesis. Now, this study ignited the scientific and popular interest in the Bible, in the Bible codes. Now, these are still active to this day, right? And they've led to many more books and discussions being produced. And although these haven't had such groundings in such scientific procedures and stuff, they have still come to find some very close related events that happened in the world that had been decoded from these 5 books. Now, how are these messages in the Bible decoded? Well, in its simplest form, the messages in this Bible and the research uses a system called equidistant letter sequencing, which is ELS. And this works by putting all of the letters next to each other with no spaces or punctuation, then performing uniform jumps along the chain of letters, and other words are discernible. For example, the word generalization. Now, in the word generalization, we skip to every 3rd letter of the word, and now the starting point. So in generalization, as you see there, we have the 3rd letter along, which is an N. And then we skip again a few 3 letters forward, we have an A. and then the same again, and we have a Z. And then the same again, we have an I. So out of the word generalization, we spell the word Nazi. And of course, the Nazis was the cause of World War II. So the method can be used whether it's forwards or backwards with any number of letter jumping or spacing. And there are even more complicated ways of decoding these called arrays or matrices. And they are a two-dimensional presentation of the text, rather like a word search puzzle. They which contain hidden words in different directions, so you can get them spelling diagonal, you know, up, backwards, and whatnot. Now, his initial discovery was that they were taking the first T in the first verse of the book of Genesis and then skipping 50 letters 3 times, and then you end up with the word T, V, R, and H. Now, that is the Hebrew spelling of Torah, which is T-O-R-A-H. Now, this finding applies in the verses in the book of Exodus, and in more recent research, it has shown that these preferences these references relate to Hitler, Mein Kampf, and other historical events. However, sensationalist authors have rather corrupted the system to produce fanciful assertions, and Bible code has become a phenomenon rather than akin to the prophecies of Nostradamus, and subsequently some researchers have tried to use it as a method of foretelling the future. Now, many code enthusiasts believe it is not supposed to be seen as a way of divination, so it's a way of finding out what the future holds. But the code enthusiasts believe that it's seen that when it's decoded, it's proof that the Torah was originally written by God, who had the knowledge of what all world events would happen. So they say that searching the text for references to future events that might occur are not valid, because if they fail to happen, then they would just be random word formations. But many people believe the valid details that do seem to appear in the Bible code are merely random words that just happen to correspond to a real event. Now, certainly there is a huge skeptical, statistical and computer aspects in the scientific world, and two such intellectuals are the mathematicians Dorbar Naitan and Brendan McKay. Now, they were the first to find the findings of the guy with the really crazy name to pronounce. I'll put it in the screen there so you can see how crazy it is. Anyway, they found that similar results when looking for the details of famous rabbis that are written in the text of Tolstoy's War and Peace. Other experiments have also revealed the foretelling of the assassination or Princess Diana's death and the war on terrorism are all hidden in the text of Melville's Moby Dick. The Bible code breakers say they are pursuing this subject to prove God actually did write the Bible, and although one is tempted to think that an overly elaborate code system will have little effect on faith of either a believer or an atheist. So if you enjoyed the story, please hit the like button, and most importantly, just take care, live your life happy, and see you all in the next video. Peace.